respect that. Don't underplay that. Don't underplay that. Respect it. And President Hakainde Hichilema has given that leadership. We need to give him. I don't mind which political party you are or whatever. We need to give President Hakainde Hichilema that credit for providing leadership and things to move in the manner that they did. Now, what are those things that moved in the manner that they did? President, according to protocol, there are people that are supposed to be invited. According to protocol, there are people that are supposed to be invited. And one of those people, dignitaries, VVIPs, one of those people is our former presidents. When there is a function such as the one that we had, a national mourning, all the people in government hierarchy are invited. They are invited. In the government hierarchy are invited. And the former presidents are part of that hierarchy. So it is not a matter of begging or whatever it is that it's not a matter of compromise, if I could put it that way, that a former president is invited. And in this case, we are talking about President Edgar Lungu, because he's the only surviving former president. So certainly, according to government protocol, the office of the former presidents are supposed to be invited. And one of those offices is Edgar Lungu, and he's the only surviving. So definitely is invited. So we must state the facts as they are, that President Edgar Lungu is supposed to be invited when there is a function such as the one that we had. And he was invited. And that one, we have to say, that was good. It was done as it was supposed to be done. But I started by telling you that leadership is very important. Leadership is very important. Yes, he's supposed to be invited. But if President Hakainde Hichilema had reservations, believe you me, President Edgar Lungu, former president, wouldn't have been there. He wouldn't have been there. So, I saw on social media some of these small boys who are learning politics of the diapers. Okay, sorry for that. Let me not use those terminologies. But, sorry, I withdraw that. But some of these young people who think they understand how a nation is run, intoxicated by their political patronage, they were coming out, no, I mean, he's supposed to be there. There is nothing that Hakainde Hichilema has done. He's supposed to be invited. He's the former vice president. Yes, he's supposed to be invited according to protocol. But let's not run away from the fact that that protocol, for that protocol to be followed, to be adhered to, there must be leadership. There must be leadership. And that is the leadership that President Hakainde Hichilema has provided. Like him or not, he provided that leadership. And because of that leadership, President Edgar Lungu was invited accordingly. He was invited accordingly because there was that leadership. And then, even during the process, I didn't attend, all the functions. I have just been monitoring it from on TV, and I could see, you can see that at least much as they didn't show, that hugging and whatever, fraternity was not as what one would think, would expect, but at least you could see that both of them, they were trying. Especially President Hakainde Hichilema. Don't run away from this. The moment you start not being clear, you start oscillating and obscure about the role that President Hakainde Hichilema has, you are lost and you might end up in trouble. Recognize this fact and embrace it. Put it in your head that the leader at the moment is President Hakainde Hichilema. like him or not. Like him or not. And I'll tell you, for me, I don't hide, I don't pretend. No, he's not my favorite. President Hakainde Hichilema is not my favorite. No, he's not my favorite. But the fact is, the man is the Republican president. He's a Republican president. He's giving the leadership. He's giving the leadership. Without his leadership, things wouldn't have gone the way they went. If Hakainde Hichilema didn't want Edgar Lungu to be part of that ceremony, he wouldn't have come. He wouldn't have come. Whoever typed the invitation card, and sent it, they first had to look at the incumbent. Is the president okay with this? If they thought he was not okay, they wouldn't have done that card. So don't get it twisted, Yohane. Don't get it twisted. Don't act like, no, it is protocol, it is supposed to be, no. There is leadership behind what you saw. And let's give the man the credit. He did it. He may not be our favorite, we may not like him, whatever, but the fact is that the man did his part. We need to commend him for that. I, for one, I am saying, job well done. Job well done. That is leadership. You showed you are a president for everyone. You are a president for everyone. So for me, I am okay with it, and I'm happy, and I congratulate President Hakainde Hichilema and his new Dawn government, all of them, including the people that were arranging everything. I commend them for the wonderful job that they did. They did us proud. They showed the world that we are a Zambia that is united. We are a Zambia that is democratic. We are a Zambia that respects one another. This is what happened. The world today, if they have to write anything about us as Zambians, they will write that Zambians are united. Even the speeches that were done, you heard how other countries admire us as a country. Why do you want to take it away? Why do you want to deny President Hakainde Hichilema the credit for being the leader who has provided that, that impression, who has created that impression? And indeed, it is what it is. Now, let me remind you, let me go back a little bit. I go back a little bit. We had 6 months ago, we had the death of President KK, former president. When he died, what happened? Hakainde Hichilema was not able to attend that funeral. He was not able to attend that funeral. And I know one would argue to say, no, President Hakainde Hichilema, by then, he was an opposition leader, whilst Edgar Lungu is a former president. So, like I said, that a former president is part of government and is supposed to be invited. So you may want to argue it from that point of view. But let me give you another etiquette, another requirement of protocol, is that all presidents of opposition political party leaders are supposed to be invited. This is why each time there is protocol there, the presidents of other political parties are there. Even the time of arriving, when you look at it, all the programs, because they are part of the protocol. They are part of the protocol. Former presidency of political parties, of course, they are not at the same level as the former presidents. No. They are at another level. But down there, they are there. The presidents of other political parties, including Chilufya Tayali, the public lawyer. I'm a president of a political party. You may not feel comfortable to swallow this fact. But hey, hello, I am the president of a political party, Economic and Equity Party. And this party is recognized. That's why I have been able to contest as a member, as a candidate, as mayor on Economic and Equity Party, because it's a party recognized in this country. I stood in Kawata as a member of Economic and Equity Party, Economic and Equity Party. In Chinsali, Murilansolo, we participated in election as Economic and Equity Party. It is a recognized political party. And when they are calling in that hierarchy, we are also there. I am also there. And that's why we have a cabinet. When you are preparing those letters, make sure don't leave out some of the political party leaders. Because you are leaving out some of the political party leaders. I am commending you for the good work that you did. But I want you to keep this in mind. That each time you are preparing, don't leave out others. But I know you leave out others based on the attitude of the leader. If President Hakainde Hichilema is not comfortable with Chilufya Tayali, I know you don't. That's why you don't write. You won't write the card for Chilufya Tayali. I know. So the point I'm trying to prove to you is that last year Hakainde Hichilema was a political party president, and as such, he was supposed to be invited. He was supposed to be invited. Now I know there was this debate. No, a card was written. Nothing. You didn't prepare a card. You didn't deliver a card to him. You were supposed to prepare a card and take it to him. But you didn't. Why? Because the leadership was not comfortable. That is why. The leadership was not comfortable. So you cannot run away. You cannot run away. You cannot shield President Edgar Lungu from the fact that the absence of Hakainde Hichilema during the time of KK, President Edgar Lungu was involved. You can't run away from it. You can't. Just like today, some of the leaders, like I'm saying, some of the political party leaders are not invited based on how they perceive the president. Will President Hakainde Hichilema be comfortable to see Tayali there? Will President Hakainde Hichilema be comfortable to shake hands with Tayali? When they think that no, President Hakainde Hichilema will not be comfortable, they will not write that card. It's the same thing that happened last year. It is because those who are preparing cards, they knew that President Edgar Lungu would not want President Hakainde Hichilema to be present on that function. So, if you think of it, humanly speaking, you would have expected Hakainde Hichilema to behave the same way. He would have behaved the same way that Edgar Lungu behaved. He would have also, he doesn't even need to say anything. He just have to show an attitude. He doesn't have to tell people to say, no, I don't want him. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is to play, dumb, to play ignorant, to play, like this guy doesn't exist. And when he just shows that, it's enough for people not to include you. That's how some of us are excluded from these functions. That's how some of us are excluded. It's not that Hakainde Hichilema says, no, don't call Tayali. No. They just know, Tayali, this time, whatever. No, let's put him aside. It's the same thing which happened last year. So don't make excuses for President Edgar Lungu for the absence of Hakainde Hichilema at the KK's funeral. He was supposed to be invited. He's supposed to be part of the presidents of political parties, and he was supposed to be invited in that regard, but he was not invited. And we know he was not invited. Let us not pretend. And therefore, you would have expected Hakainde Hichilema to behave in the same way. But how did he behave? Instead, he brought him, he invited him, he embraced him, much as we could see from body language that the two are not friends, but Hakainde Hichilema fulfilled what is expected of the protocol, what is expected of a state function. Even when they were in the midst of others, you could see that President Hakainde Hichilema did his part. He made an effort. Surely, I mean, let's give the man the credit. Let's give the man credit. Let's give the man the credit. Let's give the man the credit. On this one, I am giving it. Hakainde Hichilema, you have done well. And I want to encourage you to continue. Continue with the same spirit. Continue with the same spirit. Invite everyone. Even Sean Tembo, I was happy. Sean Tembo was also there. You know, Sean Tembo was also there. So continue inviting even those of us who may be critical of you. Please continue inviting us. Continue showing that oneness. Continue showing that leadership. Please continue with it. Please continue with it. Don't follow the detractors. Don't follow the detractors. Continue on this trajectory. We are happy with you on this one. On this one. And this is where people now get confused. Because tomorrow when I bring about the issue of labor issues and I criticize President Hakainde Hichilema, people will be like, no, yesterday you were saying he's a good leader. Yes, I'm saying on this one. Other things we'll talk about them tomorrow. But on this one, Hakainde Hichilema is uniting the country. Hakainde Hichilema is uniting the country. And we need to give him, we need to encourage him. We need to encourage him. So, having said all that, I now go to the statement made by President Edgar Lungu when he was asked, the issue of the hypocrisy word that is going round. So, having said all that I've said, I'm now going to the issue of the statement that President Edgar Lungu made. In all honesty, first thing we got on cut. So, now, having said all that, it was all nice, it was all good, it was painted well. We made a mark on the world map in terms of politics, in terms of oneness. We made a mark. We spoke loudly. We are a country that is united. And before that, there was even this discussion of, father of the nation and everything. Now, let's be realistic. Do you think the statement that President Edgar Lungu made reflected what we had seen throughout the funeral? Do you think it reflected that? Absolutely not. Admitted by himself, President Edgar Lungu, admitted by himself. He said, if things were as it has been during the funeral, that's what he said. As things have has been, it would have been better, or paraphrasing. But basically, he recognized that things moved very well. And he wished things were like that. From that sentiment, we can tell that, okay, there is something that is behind. There is something that we may not know. There is something that we may not know. That is what basically President Edgar Lungu brought out to say, yes, though things have been like this, but there is something that is not right. There is something that is not coherent to what we have seen. Am I denying that fact? Am I saying no, President Edgar Lungu is lying? No. No. There might be indeed something that we don't know. There might be something that we don't know, which is not coherent to what we saw. But the question is, was that the right moment of bringing out whatever that may not be right. Was that the right moment? Was that the right moment? Was the statement that came from President Edgar Lungu, did it reflect the father of the nation? Some of you have been saying, we want him to be father of the nation. Is that how a father of the nation would speak? At that moment? Would that how a father of the nation would speak? Was that a right moment to call others hypocrites? He called others hypocrites. He called others hypocrites at the graveyard of RB after everything was done so well, choreographed so well. And just as everybody was leaving, he comes out and calls others hypocrites. No. As far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, I love President Edgar Lungu. I don't lie. But my love for President Edgar Lungu is not blind. It is not like some of you cadres who want to, everything you want to agree, everything you want to praise. This is what is killing our country. Because right now, we have the so-called praise singers who are accepting that everything that President Hakainde Hichilema is doing is correct. It doesn't matter what you bring up, they will find a justification. No. President Hakainde Hichilema is not infallible. Is not infallible. Is not immune to making mistakes. He can make mistakes. And we need to point at that. Equally, President Edgar Lungu, I love him. Believe me, I love him. And I voted for him. I voted for him. He lost the elections, but I'm not scared. I'm not embarrassed to say I voted for him. And believe you me, today if we were to have elections, I would still vote for him. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you. I'll still vote for him. I'll still vote for him. But that doesn't mean that I should support everything that he does, even when he has made a mistake. No. I also want President Edgar Lungu to be the statesman.